Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Total Extreme Wrestling 2020 episode. We are on the road now to Hell in a Cell. We've done Clash of Champions. You can watch that here. I think it's here. It might be here. That looks about right to me. But if you missed it, make sure you watch that. We did some big stuff on that show, setting up stuff for the future. So we move on to Hell in a Cell. There was no episode last week. I apologise for that. Work meant I was away for a few days. Did not happen, but we're back this week. And of course, this Sunday sees NXT TakeOver 31. Fingers crossed, hopefully, if I get it filmed in time, which hopefully I will. NXT TakeOver 31, though, will be big. That will hopefully be this Sunday. But we move on to Monday Night Raw. AJ Styles is still WWE champion and he wants to celebrate. He does want to celebrate, AJ Styles. He's here to celebrate. But actually, before he can really get going, he's interrupted by Christian, the Raw GM. These two have been having issues really over the last month or so. AJ feels disrespected by Christian as Raw General Manager by making him be in a fatal four-way. And he sort of says before Christian comes out that he upset all the odds because he is the best. He is the phenomenal one. And Christian then comes out and says, look, I get it. Well done. Good victory. But on Monday Night Raw, we don't look back. We look forward. We look at what's coming up. And as WWE champion, you still are in danger. You still are the number one target. So you need a number one contender. You need a target of your own. You need an opponent for Hell in a Cell. So tonight we are going to have a triple threat match, and the winner of that triple threat match earns the right to take on you for the WWE Championship at the pay-per-view. AJ is furious. He is not happy at the fact that he can't even have his moment. He can't even have his 5 minutes to celebrate in front of the fans. He feels disrespected again, and he starts complaining. And Christian says, you feel disrespected? Fine, whatever. I mean, to be honest, I don't really care. But if you're annoyed, you're frustrated, you can take your anger out on your opponent. AJ is not dressed to fight. AJ is not dressed to wrestle. Christian says, your opponent right now. And AJ's in action. He will be in action against one half of the Viking Raiders. It's AJ versus Ivar to open up the show. 67, by the way, for this segment. Not great, but we set stuff up for later in the night and really, again, starting to throw in these two, AJ and Christian, as a face GM, a heel WWE champion, are at loggerheads, which is what you would expect. The match itself, then, is brilliant. AJ Styles defeats Ivar in about 15 minutes. With the Styles clash, I don't know how he hit it on Ivar, but he did. For an 81, AJ with an in-ring performance of 81. The WWE champion is perhaps the best worker in the company right now, and he is killing it week in and week out. A 58 from Ivar, not bad at all for a tag team wrestler, which is what he is for me right now. I'll take that. And at 81, hot start to the show, and AJ has took out his frustrations against the big man. Man, does that make AJ look good. Because Ivar is a very big man. He can move. He is a good in-ring talent. And AJ Styles has just beaten him. So well done, AJ Styles. And the WWE champion looks strong. MVP cut a promo on, well, it says MVP. We've put the whole Hurt Business together. They cut a promo on Apollo and Cedric Alexander. Of course, last week it was revealed the newest member of the Hurt Business, Damian Priest. He's up from NXT. Apollo and Cedric Alexander have had their offers pulled away. That's not happening. And the Hurt Business explained why here. MVP says the reason that Damian Priest has been chosen is because Priest is a prime beast. He is unstoppable. He is a monster to go along with my other monster, my other unstoppable beast in Bobby Lashley. Would Cedric Alexander have fitted in with that? Would Apollo Crews have fitted in with that? No, because they're both just flippy showmen. That's what they are, flippy showmen. Damian Priest is not a flippy showman. Damian Priest is a monster, a psycho, ready to be let out. An explanation here then as to why Priest is in, why Apollo and Cedric are not, and we're going to build now between these sort of four men perhaps. And yeah, we'll see. I've just realised, by the way, in that opening segment, and I may be wrong, and if I am, I'll edit this bit out, but I don't think I actually said who was in a triple threat tonight. Bobby Lashley is in a triple threat tonight. Drew McIntyre is in a triple threat tonight. And Kevin Owens is in the triple threat tonight. Sorry about that. Now you've got your 3. Women's division contest here. Charlotte Flair defeated Lana for a 67. 67 out of Lana is pretty damn good, actually. Charlotte Flair, 65. Lana, 53. And we're advancing the Who Attacked Becky storyline. Of course, we started that at Clash of Champions where Becky Lynch was attacked backstage. And we don't know who did it. Charlotte couldn't beat Shayna for the championship in the one-on-one contest that resulted in it. It was meant to be a triple threat, but it was one-on-one. Shayna got the victory. Charlotte Flair defeated Lana here and then gets on the mic. She cuts a promo and she says she doesn't know who attacked Becky, but one thing is for certain is that Becky didn't deserve it, and they may have been enemies in the past, but one thing they were in the past is best friends. She's going to spill the tea and she is going to find out who attacked Becky and make them pay. As she's leaving, out on the stage comes Nia Jax, 64 for the segment. So Nia Jax comes out on the stage and she is laughing. She gets on the mic, she says, look, I am so happy that Becky Lynch got attacked. I am so happy that Becky Lynch is no longer here. What a shame. Becky Lynch deserved it. That's all she says, but Charlotte takes that as Nia attacked her. Nia was the woman that attacked her. And they don't really come to blows yet. Charlotte is fuming in the ring, but she's taking that as Nia attacked her, and we'll go from there next week. The Street Profits were in action, defeating the Forgotten Sons. That's Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler for a 60. Could do better here for me. The Street Profits, 61 for Montez Ford, 57 for Dawkins. They've really got to start putting in performances. They've stayed at this level the entire save, and maybe that's I've not put them strong enough. I don't know. But 60, yeah, not great. 34 for Wesley Blake, 33 for Steve Cutler. Of course, they're missing Jackson Riker at the moment, who's still out injured, so they're going to be sort of just stagnating really until then. But it's not like you can do with them until that point. After the match, Street Profits are sort of leaving, but as they do, the music of the Raw Tag Team Champions AOP hit. They're coming out for their own matchup, but they don't even look at the Street Profits as they pass them by. Street Profits are furious that their moment's been taken, that they're being disrespected, similar to AJ Styles in a way, but the AOP are not even looking at them. They're not even acknowledging them because they don't see them as a threat, which is something that the Street Profits do not like. So AOP were in action then, and they face R-Truth and Titus O'Neil for a big squash match for 47. That's rated low, I'm assuming due to the squash really. 54 for Razor, 51 for Akam, 52 for Titus, 53 for R-Truth. But the tag team champions look strong. 3 minutes 30. Akam making Titus tap. Job done. Street Profits were watching though. Don't you expect different? Seth Rollins comes out to the ring. He last night, of course, went with Becky Lynch, and the announcers now confirm that Becky Lynch will be having medical scans. Becky Lynch will be getting assessed, but it's unlikely that Becky Lynch will be back anytime soon. We're going to keep it vague, and we're just going to say that. But Seth comes out and says, listen, last night was one of the worst nights of my life. But the thing is, I know Charlotte thinks it's Nia, but I know who attacked Becky Lynch last night. I know who attacked my fiance last night. Let me show you this. And he shows us a bit of footage from about 2 months ago, of Aleister Black abducting Zelina Vega. Now, we did this storyline with Andrade, which was a way to write Zelina off, where Zelina disappeared and then came back and didn't want anything to do with sort of Aleister Black at all, was the idea. We show that here to push the agenda that Seth Rollins believes Aleister Black is capable of attacking Becky because he's capable of attacking women, in theory, is what we're going with. We're sort of, I know he's a babyface, but we're blurring the lines of reality a little bit here. He says he knows who it was. He says a monster never changes, and he calls out Aleister Black. Now, the thing to remember with this is Seth may not even believe it himself, because Seth is a heel. Seth is a clever heel, and Seth knows that Aleister Black is United States champion. So if he can twist this, you see where I'm heading here? He calls out Aleister Black, and of course, the lights go out. Aleister Black is here for a fight. He's in the ring when immediately he's attacked from behind by Murphy, by Shelton Benjamin. A 3-on-1 attack leaves Aleister Black laying. It seemed to be a little bit of a plan here from Seth Rollins. A little bit of a plan. We're putting them together, Seth and Aleister Black. Oh, it's going to be good. Tag team contest here for a 72. Where's this come from? This is amazing. Angel Garza and Austin Theory defeat Humberto Carrillo and Big Show. I needed a face in there. Big Show works, I guess. Garza pinning Humberto Carrillo with the El Matuito. 61 for Theory, 63 for Garza, 63 for Big Show, 54 for Humberto. And we got a 72 out of it, which I'm not really sure where that's come from. That makes no sense to me, but I will absolutely take it. And a great victory for Garza and Theory. I've said this over the past few I've said this over the past few weeks. There's a future in these two as a tag team in particular. Then they can break off. At the moment, they're heels, but I really do see them as a face. Garza just screams face to me. Eventually, the Eddie Guerrero type face. And that's where we're going to head. But at the moment, we've got to keep them rolling with wins, pick them up, and go from there. They get a victory over the Big Show, though, here, which is good. Big Show didn't get pinned, but a victory over him. That's going to help their popularity. Randy Orton was interviewed backstage, and he's asked about Kevin Owens being involved tonight in the triple threat number one contenders matchup. He's asked about Drew McIntyre being involved tonight in the number one triple threat number one contenders matchup, something like that. He's asked, why aren't you? Two of the men that lost last night in that fatal four-way are in. Why aren't you? And Randy Orton just goes, we'll see. That's all he says, just a tease that Randy Orton will be watching on tonight. Now we go from that to in-ring, a jobber entrance for Candy Floss and Zia Lee. Zia Lee, I'm going to go with, from NXT and NXT UK, because we need somebody to lose here to the Iconics, and it's a 41. Haha, yes. Well, it is what it is. I wanted someone they could really, really just beat quite comfortably, and they did the business here. Billy Kay, 54. Peyton, 56. So they are improving. 27 for Zia, 28 for Candy Floss is what it is. Good victory for the Iconics either way is the point. Dominating victory. They get on the mic afterwards and cut themselves a promo, sort of hyping themselves up as the traditional, the original women's tag team champions. And this is the gimmick we're going to go over the next few months, and keep them going and keep lighting them up is the idea. We got a contest in here with Rey Mysterio defeating Brendan Vink. Rey getting a victory. We're going to start using Rey a little bit more again, because we'd sort of cooled off him a little bit. So Rey Mysterio defeats Brendan Vink here. Actually a really good match. 62 from Rey, 43 from Brendan Vink. To get a 63 out of Brendan Vink is pretty good. Well done, Rey Mysterio. As you can see, a storyline there is advancing here. We'll get to it right now because Rey Mysterio wins. And then we go backstage where Andrade is being interviewed. But as he's being interviewed, they're sort of watching the finish of Rey Mysterio's match and seeing Rey Mysterio celebrate on the TV that he's watching. And then he's asked, Andrade is, about where does he go from here? Then he's asked about where he goes from here, because Andrade has a lot of potential. He has the potential to be the next Rey Mysterio, for example, is what the interviewer says. A little bit cheeky. Andrade then cuts a promo bragging about how good he is and brags about being the best Latin wrestler of all time. We go in there. 71, by the way, for that. Pretty good interview. Well done, Andrade. Okay, Damian Priest was in action defeating Akira Tozawa. Good match here for Damian Priest to win. Considering the fact that obviously he's come up from NXT, so his pop, he's not going to be hitting 70s at the moment. We've got to build him, so he defeats Akira Tozawa. The South of Heaven does the business at 54. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I've not got too many issues with that. We're going to put him over some talent is the idea. I don't reveal too much, but Priest has a big future as a heel on this Raw brand right now. I am going to use him. It feels fresh. After the match, Priest is attacked by Apollo Crews and Cedric Alexander. Now you can say that Bobby Lashley is preparing for the main event, hence why he's not out here. So Crews and Alexander try and take this opportunity to sort of beat down the monster, but it doesn't work because Priest is powerful. Priest is animalistic in his attacks. And yeah, he he's not kept down for long. Let's just keep it that way and pretty stand tall for 57. Pretty good. Okay, we managed to fit in one match that wasn't quite on my schedule, but we managed to fit it in here, and it's Asuka involved. She defeats Ruby Riott. Pretty good match here for 72. Ruby 45, Asuka 72. And we're going to start setting up Asuka now as the next challenger for Shayna. We're going to go with Shayna and Asuka at the pay-per-view, but we're not quite anywhere near confirming it, so spoilers. Okay, before the main event, Drew McIntyre cut a promo on AJ Styles for 72. Talked about the fact that at SummerSlam, he didn't win the big one. At Clash of Champions, he couldn't defeat the three other men. But at Hell in a Cell, the monster inside Drew McIntyre will come out and he will win the championship. And to do that, he's got to win tonight. Bit of pressure being put upon himself here, Drew McIntyre. Bit of pressure being put upon himself. AJ Styles is down at ringside doing colour commentary for the matchup. It's time for your main event. It's a triple threat contest. Drew McIntyre against Bobby Lashley against Kevin Owens, your winner and the new #1 contender for the WWE Championship at Hell in a Cell, Drew McIntyre. Now, okay, hang on. Hang on before you go. We've seen this match. We have. There will be a gimmick involved in it, but I really feel like we had a little bit more we could stretch out with Drew and AJ Styles. They had the singles match at SummerSlam, which was great. A one-on-one normal matchup, which was great. They've had the Fatal 4-Way, which was good. But now a gimmick match to finish this feud off at Hell in a Cell. That's the idea. But there's a reason for it now. I think a few of you may have been thinking I was going to go with Kevin Owens now. Not quite, because Owens has still got a deal with Randy Orton. Randy Orton's still about, and as you can see here, Randy Orton is definitely still about. What a match, by the way, at 82, mainly due to the fact that Drew's put in an 85 here, and this is why I want one more match between Drew and AJ. AJ 82 earlier, Drew 85. They could have an incredible matchup again. I mean, I can't remember what the SummerSlam one was, but they seem better than that already. I don't know. Drew defeats Bobby Lashley and Kevin Owens. Drew pinned Bobby here with a future shock, but during the match, Randy Orton ran in and attacked Kevin Owens, costing him the matchup. Orton is not done with Kevin Owens. 82 though, great match, great main event. That is what you want to see, and we have a title match confirmed for the pay-per-view. We will be adding the gimmick match to it though. We will add that gimmick. Okay, 78 for Monday Night Raw. Really pretty good, actually. Of course, considering we had like the 41 squash there, 47, sort of, it's a interesting Raw, isn't it? I mean, we've done okay. We haven't got a lot of big stuff on this card, I've got to be honest. AJ and Ivar was pretty good in terms of like big matches that people would want to see. Everything else is just sort of TV, proper TV stuff. There. You get my point, and then you get to the main event. I mean, the main event's killed it. Well done, boys. Well done. Okay, it's time for main event. It's a very Raw heavy main event this week. It is dual branded. It is a Raw versus Smackdown wrestler in the main event. But apart from that, it's quite Raw heavy. That's okay, though, because we're building on some stuff, so it's all good. We open up Kevin Owens. Big man for a main event for a C-show. He's in action, but before that, he cuts promo on the Viper. 77 for a good promo. He talks about Randy Orton costing him a shot at the WWE Championship on Monday. He says, Randy, you will not learn your lesson, but that's fine because I am good at giving out lessons. The WWE Championship is what we both want. The WWE Championship opportunity is what we both need. However, one of us will not get it. One of us will never get it. Me and you, WWE Championship picture, cannot coexist. We need to do something about that. Drops the mic. A little bit of a hint that maybe these two are not done with each other. We know they're not. They're not. They're definitely not. KO was in action, defeating Shane Thorne for 64, so this is okay. Shane Thorne's really low, remember. Kevin Owens 75 though. He put in the performance and carried this up to a 64. For main event, take it, pretty good. It'll help Shane be in the ring with Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens gets a victory over a jobber. Win. The Iconics got another self-promotion promo for 56. Again, similar to Monday Night Raw. They're backstage this time. They're sort of playing off each other with the championship belts and having a giggle. And yeah, original, traditional tag team champions. 56, good stuff. Speaking of the women's tag team division, 2 teams here. One in particular is a team. Natalya and Liv Morgan seem to be teaming together more and more lately, and we're going to start putting them together as a team. 54 for this one as they defeated Lana and Ruby Riott. Ruby put in a great performance against Asuka, and another pretty good performance here with a 43. Actually, it's the worst of the lot, so ignore that. Lana, by the way, a 53. Really good stuff from her. Natalya, 55. Liv, 44. Real lower mid-card stuff. Fine. 54 and a win for the face tag team, because we need face tag teams to go up against the Iconics, don't we? Shayna Baszler cut a promo being asked about potential challenges for the Women's Championship. Asuka's name is mentioned, which she just scoffs at. And then they ask about Becky and Becky being attacked, and Shayna suddenly has to leave. She is not answering questions about Becky Lynch. Definitely not. 71, good promo from Shayna. Main event time then. Andrade's in action. He seems to have a problem with Rey Mysterio. It felt like on Raw. Tonight he faces another Lucha superstar, Kalisto. And gets to 69, so a pretty good main event here. Andrade 67, Kalisto 60, and Andrade gets the victory with a Brilliante driver. No complaints here. I thought it'd be a little bit better actually, but still, it's fine. I'd watch it. I'd watch that for a C-show match for sure. Andrade and Kalisto, good stuff. There's an obvious reason why Kalisto has been chosen as the opponent here. If I need to explain this to you, you are watching the wrong videos, people. This is pretty obvious. After the match, Andrade, to rub salt in the wounds, attacks Kalisto again and taunts Rey Mysterio as he hits him with a 6-1-9. Andrade with a clear message to Rey Mysterio. He is the greatest Latin superstar of all time. That's your main event then, a 69. Pretty solid stuff for main event. No complaints. Now, we'll move on quickly because we've got the go-home show of NXT for NXT TakeOver 31. Let's do something good, shall we? Okay then, time for the go-home show for NXT TakeOver 31. We are going through a little bit of a ritual tonight. We are going to plug the hell out of this pay-per-view, and the best way to do that is match with somebody involved in the pay-per-view winning, promo. Match promo, match promo, match promo. You get my point. Let's do this. We're going to open up with the number 1 contenders for the Tag Team Championships in action. And go with the ritual. Breezango win. They defeat Rinku and Sarav here. 2 big monsters they can defeat, which will look good for them, I guess. 54... no complaints really. Fandango 50. Tyler the best of the lot with a 58. 36 apiece for the heels. And a win for Breezango. Not a lot to be said here. A win. A momentum taking win and a win. After the match, they cut a promo on the tag team champions, Grizzled Young Veterans. They say at NXT TakeOver 31, they win the championships. They get their shot done. And they bring the fun back to the NXT Tag Team Division. 67, good promo, good promo. We are moving along nicely tonight. This is good. Candice LeRae got a promo at Tegan Knox. They're going to go one-on-one at the pay-per-view. 45 for this one. It's just a simple heel promo talking about what she's going to do to Tegan on Sunday. 45, it's okay. She was then in action, defeating Santana Garrett for 53. Candice LeRae, 49. Santana Garrett, 45. Gives us a 53. This is solid old school stuff at the minute. Really good stuff. For 53, a win for Candice LeRae, and she looks good going into Sunday. Speaking of looking good going into Sunday, a 6-man tag action here. Legado del Fantasma, Santos Escobar, Joaquin Wilde, and Raul Mendoza team together in a 6-man against Tony Nese, Danny Burch, and Oni Lorcan for a 51. So this is okay for mid-card NXT stuff. Santos Escobar gets the pin over Danny Burch. 52 for Raul Mendoza. 54 for Joaquin Wilde. 49 for Santos Escobar. 48 for Tony Nese, and 39 and 31 for Lorcan and Burch. Good stuff. Gained heat for the storyline as well. So 51. We're going to be seeing their opponents in action later tonight, but they got a promo before that for 42. Santos Escobar didn't do very well, interestingly, and they promise the same result will happen at TakeOver. Now, we went backstage for a skit for the Undisputed Era as Adam Cole hosts an Undisputed intervention. He wants to know what's been going wrong lately. He wants to know how they feel. He wants to be all on the same page. And Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly say it's simple. You, Adam Cole, have lost your way, and you need to find it. You need to find your mojo. You need to find what makes you the best. Or you can't be undisputed anymore. A little bit of a tease here. Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly are prepared to turn their back on Adam Cole unless he improves. 69. That's, of course, ahead of the main event where Roderick Strong will be taking on the NXT champion Keith Lee. Surely Adam Cole will want to send a message, perhaps. 6-woman tag team action here for a 63. The women's champion Dakota Kai teamed with her bodyguard Raquel Gonzalez and Io Shirai against the number 1 contender Mia Yim, Shotzi Blackheart and Casey Catanzaro. Good stuff here. Io 65, the best of the lot. 31 for Raquel. Dakota 58, not bad at all. Casey 40, Shotzi 31 and Mia Yim 52. This is to improve the NXT Women's Championship storyline, and a pin from Dakota Kai got the business over Casey Catanzaro. After the match, Kai and Gonzalez looked to injure Mia Yim. They'd really work on the shoulder over the ring post, softening her up ahead of Sunday, where Dakota Kai will defend the championship against Mia Yim. From 6-woman to back to 6-man action, it's the face turn. The face team's turn. This time, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Bronson Reed and Jake Atlas defeat Davari, Kendrick and Kona Reeves for about 6 minutes. So a short match here. Isaiah Swerve Scott getting the victory with a pinfall. 38 for Atlas and Reed. 44 for Swerve, which is good. 35 for Kona. 39 for Davari and 45 for Brian Kendrick. 45 overall. Solid stuff. Again, they cut their own promo hyping up the 6-man tag and say the bullies will get put in their place. NXT TakeOver 31. 36, not great. The NXT Tag Team Champions were interviewed backstage, asked about Breezango. Simple heel promo here, fed up of having to defend their championships against loserweights and, well, dancing fools. So at TakeOver 31, they take Breezango out of the equation. 52. Okay, this is much better. Good match here for 79. And a tag team action sees the Broserweights team up again for the first time in a while against Dexter Lumis and Johnny Gargano. So 2 men who will go one-on-one on Sunday. That's Pete Dunne and Johnny Gargano on opposite sides here. And Pete Dunne gets the victory, defeating Dexter Lumis with the bitter end. Johnny Gargano was head and shoulders above the rest with an 85. Woof. Pete Dunne 71, Matt Riddle 76. Dexter Lumis 63. Dexter Lumis takes the pin. Good stuff. 79. Gargano is amazing. Gargano and Dunn on Sunday could be fantastic. Keith Lee cut a promo on Finn Balor ahead of the main event. He says he knows what Finn Balor's about. He's been warned by other people. He's been getting text messages from his friends over on the main roster, former NXT champions, former NXT competitors who have had to deal with Finn Balor, like Kevin Owens, who says don't underestimate Finn Balor because he will take you to your limit. That's what Kevin Owens said on a text, but does he not understand? Keith Lee is limitless. Keith Lee may be taking Finn Balor a little bit easily. Okay, main event time. Keith Lee against Roderick Strong. We had a good tag team match. This one I don't think will be as good, but the NXT champion needs to be in the main event for me. So let's see how it goes. Will Adam Cole get involved? Will somebody help Roderick Strong? The winner is Roderick Strong in a 66. So Roderick Strong defeats the NXT champion. Now, before you moan, there's a reason. Interference. But not from Adam Cole. From Finn Balor. Finn Balor. Keith Lee 61. Roderick Strong 57. Gives us a 66, which would be a bit of a boost. It's okay. I'm not sure what it's going to do for the main sort of show rating. So Cole did not help. Balor did. Finn Balor helped Roderick Strong. We'll pick up on that. We are laying threads. Okay, then a 69 overall. Pretty good still from NXT. Boosted big time by that tag match, which probably could have main evented. But I did want to put the NXT champion in the main event. Good build for Sunday. So Sunday should be a hell of a show. Make sure you don't miss it. Subscribe now. Right now. Press it. Okay, NXT UK comes from the Midlands this week, and we have got a big show planned. Tyler Bate is in action. Noam Dar is in action. Jenny Couture is in action. And we do have a contract signing for the main event between Volta and Killian Dane. They will go one-on-one next week for the NXT UK Championship. Tonight they signed the contract. But we do open up with Noam Dar in action. He defeats A-Kid in a 42. Noam Dar 40, A-Kid 33. Gives us a 42. This is NXT UK. That's not bad. I still feel Noam Dar should be rated higher, but it is what it is. Still, good matchup. Noam Dar defeats a young potential star, because Noam Dar was a young potential star that's kind of been overlooked lately. You see where I'm going with this? If you don't, I'll explain it to you, because Noam Dar gets on the mic afterwards and cuts a promo on the Ojmo. He says the Ojmo is the new hip thing here in NXT UK, but I should be the new hip thing here in the NXT UK. I should be the new hip thing in the WWE. So, I'm going to take your new hip thing and I'm going to destroy him bit by bit. Not a challenge, but a message to the Ojmo. Watch your back, because Noam Dar is after you. 39 is okay. Kaylee Ray got a promo on Ginny, saying how Ginny has been in NXT UK from the start and she's worked her way up, and now she wants a shot at the Empress, the Queen, the undisputed NXT UK Women's Champion. She can have a shot anytime she wants, because she is here to fight. 48, good stuff. Ginny was in action, defeating Zoe Lucas, who makes her NXT UK debut here. 37 for this, isn't bad. Ginny 36, Zoe Lucas 29. Yeah, it's pretty good. Zoe's a good talent. She's currently in-game the PWG, she's not the PWG, the Rev Pro Women's Champion, I think she is. So, yeah, good to use her here. Good to get her some popularity with this. 29, good stuff from her, though. After the match, here comes Kaylee Ray for a big showdown. She gets in the ring and she raises her belt high, right in Ginny Couture's face. Does Ginny take that? No, she doesn't. A vicious slap knocks Kaylee Ray to the floor. Ginny leaves the ring. She's made a message. Kaylee Ray is bleeding from the mouth, and she likes it. These two will go to war soon. 40, good segment. Tyler Bate defeated Gabriel Kidd in what is your main event match of the night in a 61. Good stuff. Probably the best thing on the card. 68 from Tyler. Gabriel Kidd 26. He's going to be boosted by being in the ring with Tyler Bate, but of course he does take the pin. The Tyler Driver 97 does the business. Afterwards, on the Titantron is Chris Brooks, who accepts the challenge made by Tyler Bate last week or the week before. A last man standing match he wants, a last man standing match he gets. In 2 weeks' time. That is 2 big main events next week and the week afterwards. 48. Speaking of next week, though, it's time to sign the contract. Killian Dane and Volta sign the contract for next week. And of course, because it's a contract signing in the WWE, NXT UK, whatever, it doesn't go without action. And the two start to brawl. And Killian Dane power bombs Volta through the contract announce table thing. He gets the upper hand, and Volta is beaten down and put through a table like we've never seen before. 60, hell of a way to end the show. Gives us a 55 rated NXT UK. Pretty good stuff. I'll take that. I'll take that. I really will take that. Next week, though, is going to be big. Killian Dane versus Volta, NXT UK Championship. Okay, we end the week as usual with Friday Night Smackdown on Fox. Now, of course, at Clash of Champions, Bray Wyatt retained the title against Jeff Hardy, but that wasn't the talking point. The talking point was the return of the Black Sheep, Braun Strowman. Tonight, Strowman's in your main event against King Corbin. Will Bray Wyatt be watching? We open up though with tag team action. The Miz and Morrison, former SmackDown tag team champions, defeat Chad Gable and Kalisto. Now, Gable is the story of this. We'll get to it in a moment. Gable, you can say he puts in a really impressive performance, but Kalisto couldn't get the job done. The Miz pinned Kalisto, the skull-crushing finale, the 74 rated matchup. The Miz 78, Morrison 70, Kalisto 64, Gable 57. Interesting that Gable's the worst of the lot, but he is the guy we're going to try and push for going forward. I think it's a pretty good match. 74, good start to the show. And Gable looks disappointed as we sort of end the segment. We then come back from break to go backstage where Miz and Morrison are celebrating their victory. They cut a promo and they talk about the fact that that is what tag team wrestling is all about in that ring. Were Miz and Morrison involved at the pay-per-view though? No. Were the ring workers involved at the pay-per-view? Yes. What? Why? They are not. They're not a match on us. So a little bit of a promo here on the ring workers by Miz and Morrison. We can sort of pair these two teams together at the minute. 73 though, good promo, good start to the show as well. Jeff Hardy beat Dolph Ziggler for a 69 for this. This is slightly disappointing actually. Jeff 63, Dolph 59, but a win for Jeff Hardy. He lost of course at the pay-per-view. He gets a win back here in a singles action, an impressive victory over Dolph. Swanton Bomb does the business. And guess who was watching backstage? That's right, Chad Gable, who comes to celebrate or sort of congratulate Jeff Hardy. And he says, look, that is what I need. That ability, that determination. Jeff, I want to be partners. And Jeff says, right, okay, let's try it next week. They're going to try out next week as tag team partners. 64, good stuff. JBL is in his office and he's asked all of the Smackdown Women's Division to be there, bar the champion who's in action next. That's Lacey Evans, Bayley, Sonya, Mandy, Carmella, Nikki, Alexa, Naomi, Ember Moon, Dana Brooke. You get my point. And he says, look, I'm all about giving opportunity. We had a fantastic SmackDown Women's Championship match. Now Bayley is no longer number one contender, but she could be again. But so could all of you, because next week we will have a battle royal and the winner will go on to Hell in a Cell and fight for the championship. 64, big match booked for next week. Speaking of the champion, she defeats Brooke Adams. That's right, Brooke Adams, local worker I could choose. I've used her. 59, good matchup here and a win for the SmackDown Women's Champion. Afterwards, she gets on the mic and says, I saw it. I saw the announcement. I get a challenger at Hell in a Cell. I'll find out next week, but I don't really care who it is. Bring it on, because the boss will make a statement at Hell in a Cell. Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan cut a promo on the Usos. They said they're very much not done with the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Tonight, Daniel Bryan puts out a challenge. Jay or Jimmy, we don't care. He wants one of them in the ring tonight. Xavier Woods is waiting for Kofi Kingston, who arrives at the arena. He likes to apologise for Clash of Champions, where Xavier Woods was forced to count the 1, 2, 3 to make Big E Intercontinental Champion. Kofi Kingston isn't even acknowledging Xavier Woods here. He literally floats past him. He looks angry and he's ready for a matchup next. 72, good segment by the New Day. 55 for the match though. Kofi defeats Mojo Rawley. They didn't have chemistry. It brings it down. 66 from Kofi, Mojo 43. But it's a short match, 5 minutes, and Kofi gets the victory. Now the point for this is Kofi is not being vicious here, but he's just not wasting any time. He is I don't know, he's focused on one thing, and we find out afterwards he gets on the mic and he puts a challenge out there to Big E Langston for a 75 rated segment. He says, this is as personal as it gets. These are two brothers, me and you, who will no longer be brothers, who are no longer brothers, and I need to put this right. I need my Intercontinental Championship back. So at the pay-per-view, I say one thing, Big E. If you are man enough, if you are good enough, one challenge. Intercontinental Championship on the line. Hell in a Cell. Kofi with a big challenge. Big E comes out onto the stage, gets on the mic and says, I'll think about it, and walks away. Big E, the cocky heel, enjoying watching Kofi start to lose himself a little bit. 75 though, good segment. We move on to Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross cutting a promo on next week's Battle Royal. They sort of disagree over who's going to win next week. 68, good stuff. We're going to run through a couple of these promos actually. Bayley's next up. She vows to win next week and get her title back at the pay-per-view for a 56. Meanwhile, Sonya Deville says at Hell in a Cell, a new era of pain comes on SmackDown. Yes, 44 is okay. And finally, Ember Moon says that people have been doubting her ever since she's returned. She will prove the doubters wrong next week for 53. Okay, we've run through them. It's time to get back to in-ring competition. Daniel Bryan will be taking on Jey Uso, and he gets us an 81. What a matchup this is. Daniel Bryan 77, Jey Uso 64. Hot feud right now. And Bryan defeats Jey Uso when Jey Uso is intentionally counted out. It looks like Bryan is going to get the victory. Jey Uso leaves and gets counted out. And of course, post-match, it leads to a 2-on-2 brawl for 74. Usos and Reigns and Bryan are killing it right now. The ring workers are interviewed backstage and asked about Miz and Morrison's comments earlier in the night. Ricochet says that Miz and Morrison need to keep their names out of their mouths. 67. Okay, main event is Braun Strowman against King Corbin for 73. So pretty good stuff. Braun 79, King Corbin 64, and a really short match here. 4 minutes and 44 seconds because Braun is vicious here. He is more I don't know, more evil, I guess, in the Undertaker type of evil than he's ever been before. A complete domination of King Corbin. Standing triangle choke does the business. And afterwards, he calls out Bray Wyatt, who appears on the screen in the Funhouse. Yes, post-match 83 to end the show. And Wyatt is pleased to see Braun Strowman. But Braun says, listen, Bray, why don't you open the door? Bray is confused. This is his world. What is going on? Bray opened the Funhouse door to find he can't leave because the cell is blocking him. A cell, like hell in a cell. Strowman says, this is what you have got in store for you. This is your future, Bray. This is your future, and you have brought it on yourself. Bray says, you want this? Oh, yes. Yes. And it's made. Universal Championship will be on the line. Hell in a Cell. Okay, then gives us a 75 rate Smackdown. So not quite as good as Raw, but still pretty damn good if you ask me. We are rolling on. And next week, like I say, is a big week. We've got to set some stuff up, particularly on Raw. We've got some stuff we need to set up. We've got that NXT UK Championship matchup. We've got Smackdown that's flying at the moment. Where will they go from here? We got that, of course, a Battle Royal as well. But before all that, this Sunday is NXT TakeOver 31. It's going to be big. Make sure you watch it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a thing. And until next time, hopefully this Sunday, peace.